Hey everybody, it is late at night and I am Norman. So as you know, because I've done a video on it, I borrowed a bunch of watches from a good friend of mine. The friend that I bought the Tudor from, he loaned me 4 different watches. 2 Tool watches and 2 dressier pieces. I've already gone over the Seiko Tuna, which is really cool to see in person, and I look forward to doing the full review of that watch. Tonight we're going to look at one of the dressier pieces that I borrowed from him. And what watch might that be? I borrowed this crazy Bulova. It has an open heart complication on it. That dial texture is really great, and it is a brown dial watch. Which is interesting, I actually kind of like brown dial watches. At least in some of the photos that I've been seeing over the past year. I never really considered brown watches before until I saw some of the photographs that have come through on social media, and they look amazing. I'm not a huge open heart fan, but yeah, the texture on this dial is just great. It is on par with the Seiko cocktail times. Phenomenal. So tonight we're going to do some first impressions of this watch, and I'll get a wrist shot of it so you can see what it's like when you're wearing it. So let us begin. The brown dialed Bulova. This is a larger watch. I think it's 41 millimeters. It's definitely larger than I'm used to. I do like this case. Look at those lugs. They're kind of Art Deco-y. Yeah, those look so great. I hadn't really noticed the crystal. It's domed, and look at that. Those distortions look cool. The hands are kind of an interesting contrast. They're almost like military style or Thule style, whereas the rest of the dial is dressy. Look at the texture on that dial. And it's a great shade of brown. I just love Bulova's logo. That is so cool. So with this inner track here and some of the markers around the edge of the dial, it definitely has touches of Thule-ness to it, even though the overall impression of this watch is very dressy, kind of classy looking. The position of the open heart isn't too bad. It's kind of fun being offset like that, asymmetrical dial. So even though I don't really care for that feature, not really a complication, but even though I don't really care for that feature so much in watches, this one doesn't make my eyes bleed. It looks okay. It does kind of fit with the design. It's a very fancy looking dial. And this is the original strap and the original deployant clasp. The strap looks really good on the watch, given its colorway. Oh, and we have a display case back. Very interesting. Yeah, so this will be the first brown dial watch I've ever had on my wrist. So I will go ahead and get a wrist shot of that for you. Let me take off the Seiko chronograph. That was a gift to the channel. For a sporty chronograph watch, this thing looks pretty cool. I do like the Daytona-esque subdials. And this is the only blue dial watch that I've ever had. And one of the very few blue dial watches that I've had on my wrist. So let me take this off and we'll see what the Bulova looks like when you're wearing it. Alright, here's my friend's, I don't know, I guess you could call this an everyday dress watch on my 7-inch wrist. My wrist is 55 millimeters wide. There is the deployant clasp. Yeah, that brown looks pretty cool. I would have never thought that I would be cool with brown dial watches. But yeah, they actually look pretty great. It definitely has some wrist presence, given its case size. But yeah, this is pretty dressy. Kind of fancy looking. I like it. I will spend some time with this and do a full review of it. There you have it, my good friend's fancy, dressy, kind of classy Bulova. Thanks for watching.